the Brown Table. We're so happy that you're hanging in here with us. Today we're going to discuss All Eyes on Me, which opened June 16th. It made about $59 million with a $40 million budget. Did he not look like Tupac?
Yes, he did.
Why is he fine? I mean, really. You was not. It was a good movie. As a Tupac fan.
And I love Tupac, but I think they were.
You love Tupac. Let me hear you one Tupac lyric.
Dear Mama.
All Eyes on Me.
I love the way the elementary goes.
I love
this so bad, bad, wanna dig you. I ain't gonna lie.
I love Biggie more, but I did love to. I think they waited too long to do it. Or maybe the format that they did it. I don't know if it needed to become a.
Well, it was going to be on his 46th birthday. So it was a tribute to his birthday. You wanted it to be done
46? That's an odd milestone.
Right, not 45th.
Yeah, not
I think
45th.
it probably supposed to be, what if they were their 50th?
I think they were looking
Been too
for
late.
something.
Maybe they were trying to do 45, budget didn't work out.
You know what I had heard.
But it came out.
I mean, that's a whole
Is the
thing.
same person who played Tupac in the movie, is that the same person who's playing him in the series that's coming out?
I doubt it.
Because
I
this
don't
person
think he
looks
looks
like
just like-
freakishly just like
the other one.
Yeah,
Series,
yeah.
TV series.
I don't know. Have to look that up. We'll
Yeah,
find
no,
it
this
out.
dude, and it kind of
Maybe
made me out
that'll
because I'm
be
like, wait a
another
minute,
round
is
table.
that Tupac?
Wow.
Yeah, no, he looks freakishly similar.
When is that set to air?
Like in a week, couple of weeks, right?
Yes.
Oh, it's soon. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to say we'll do a
Investigate
brown table on that alone, but it's too
Yeah.
soon. So what about Moonlight? Last year's winner.
We got
So we're running over, and by the way, our segments won't be this long, but this is our introduction. So wait, we're going to actually have shorter segments, but since you're just getting to know us, we're going to go a little bit over today. So ladies, for the sake of time, we're going to spend about 40 seconds on each movie. Go. Moonlight.
I love Moonlight because, and I'm gonna keep it real, I didn't know what to expect, and I'm gonna be very honest, I was ready to turn it off if it got a little too graphic for my personal, but it was handled very subtly.
Yeah.
And my heart broke for that little boy, the entire movie, and the little boy that grew up to be a little boy stalking a man. Like, especially when he became a man, like my heart just broke.
Go Tess.
And one more thing, but I did not think the mom deserved accolades that she got, like the nomination.
The crackhead, the British crackhead.
But
I was interested to see a British crackhead. I had never seen one.
They're in Rome, they're in Italy. I love the content. I love where they took the story because it has not been done before. So that was unprecedented. But my thing was, as an actor, and I know some of the material may have been uncomfortable for people. I get that. But as an actor,
10 seconds.
10 seconds. If the little boys, if the young actors to go there and commit to what it is to be homosexual, the grown-up actors should have done the same thing at the end. And the way that scene ended, I was just like, oh my God. No, not at all. Because you're just going to rub the head. After all of these years, you're just going to rub the head.
But you know that was coming.
No, I don't know. Not even.
Your 20 seconds.
Okay, my gay community, y'all know we wanted to see more. That was just like, and then Thug Life. Thugs. I was like, yes, this is lovely. This is beautiful. It was very, like you said, it was tastefully done. But right when I got to the end, I was like, nah, y'all just leave us like that.
Okay, next movie, Hidden Figures.
What was it? Hidden Figures.
30 seconds.
Well, I'm dating
Impossible.
myself.
Okay.
I remember being a little girl in front of the black and white television, watching the spaceships go up, right? And all you saw were white men. You didn't even see no white women. So the fact that the sister wrote the book and they did the movie.
Wow.
So this is my position. I feel that we are at a pivotal now because, like you mentioned, Tyler Perry, and then with the Black Panther, we're at a pivotal now. And if Monique played her cards right, she still has time to be that producer. So earlier I wasn't kidding when I was saying maybe there is a shot that I could play Queen Asatwa because if we can now dream. I remember 40 years ago as a young actress, saying, "Oh, wouldn't it be wonderful to see an epic black movie?"
Yeah.
And now we have one. So now maybe there is more possibility because of these people and behind the scenes and having the power to red light a film. This is so important with hidden figures. George Lucas, right? George Lucas, Red Tails. Now look how powerful he is. Okay? Took him 9 years to get that film done. All right, because they wanted more white characters to be more in the leads. You know what I'm saying? And he was fighting back and pushing back to really make the movie he wanted to make. Now, if George Lucas had that kind of trouble, 9 years to make Red Tails, and now we're at the point that we are now. Keep your sad cards going. Okay. Keep your
Lady, I would love to just go in with Hidden Figures, great movie, wonderful experience. But what was so no negatives. What I love the most is when my husband and I went to go see the film. I wouldn't say it was a packed theater, but I would say it was about half and half, black.
We're here the numbers. Hidden Figures, $169 million. On a $25 million budget.
But what was wonderful was at the end, and it didn't even make it to the end, but at the climax of the movie, everybody was clapping. It was just a natural applause. And then at the end of the movie, it happened again. It wasn't just the black people. Everybody was clapping.
When they went to the IBM computer, that
all of it. I can't remember.
And I think that's the ticket to a lot of these movies. If it sells to everyone, not just us. That's the real ticket.
But
they
can't
omit the human experience.
That appeals to people.
It was understood that we don't buy tickets. We bootleg. We go to 125th Street and we buy it off the subway. No, we buy tickets too.
Yeah,
we want to hear stories about us.
And Hidden Figures also showed a united front as America doing something.
That's right.
And that is a great message for us, like right at this moment. I mean, we built this country, and it's about all of us. This is our country just as much as it is other people's country.
But I have to applaud Hollywood because I think Hollywood is really pushing us forward.
Well, Oscar So White had to happen.
Hashtag Oscar So White had to happen. And shout out to Morehouse College, Spelman College, Clark 11, where they filmed Hidden Figures. That money went to Morehouse. And they're doing more TV shows and more movies on HBCU campuses because the campuses look like 1960s, 1970s. Some of the historical buildings.
Because we preserve very well.
But can I ask you a question? So going back to Mary J. Blige. Okay. Way back. Oscar So White had to happen. I agree. I love Mary J. Blige. Congrats to her for the nomination. But I didn't see anything nominated.
Okay, I was waiting for a scene. I was waiting for a breakdown. I was waiting for that Oscar moment.
So then why do you think
it never happened?
Because Oscar So White happened, so I do believe they are giving place.
Yes.
Because
they do everywhere. They're doing everything.
But what about the script,
Tonys, there's this
the
like,
story.
We feel sorry for you, so we're gonna give this to you. We have to give you something.
What about the story though?
Okay, so for me, for Mudbound, I am in a place, as we carry on these discussions, I'll put it out there, I've been saying it for a while. I am a little bit over the black struggle. When I call it that, movies that are just stuck and continue to tell the same story over and over again, not like in the same story. What was different about Mudbound? What story did they tell?
They followed the soldier home.
Okay. I love the friendship between the black guy
when he went
guy,
to the general store and he said,
They got in trouble.
You got to go out the back. Like he followed. We knew what happened. I've never seen it. I know it happened because I'm a historian. I know it happened in Civil War. I know it happened in World War I. I know it happened in World War II. I know it happened before the Civil Rights Act of 1964, but I never went home with that soldier. I felt like I went home with him.
You didn't go home with him.
I did.
And he needed to leave. And he found out that was happening. He couldn't go out that front door, and he had that much dignity and pride from the war to feel like he could. He should have went back to Germany.
Well, that's easier said
than
done.
Easier said than done, but if you're put in that situation where your culture
his parents loved him,
they
couldn't just leave him.
And they didn't have GoFundMe back then.
Okay, y'all know we got ready to talk Detroit. Did anybody see Detroit? That movie I felt was too long. It was a story that needed to be told. I have relatives that live in Detroit, and my Auntie Alice, is still choked her up. She couldn't talk about it to this day. And I find, as a tour guide, when I discuss the Harlem Renaissance and I discuss the Underground Railroad, so much of our history is lost because it's that painful. And a lot of our history will cause you to get lynched if you talked about it. Or you just reminded me of it. No, child. Go on somewhere. Don't talk about that. So a lot of our stories, I never heard that story about Detroit. And if the movie told it, and I went to my aunt and she wouldn't talk about it because it was still like it happened yesterday. I was like, oh my God. How many other stories like this need to be told? So I feel we can never have enough slave movies. We can never have enough war movies. No, we can never have enough because you know how many people, how many slaves. I want to know. But see, me personally, I want to know every story because I can learn from it. We all can.
But I understand them. They keep doing them because you have younger generations, so you're trying to teach those younger generations. But I can understand your point too. Why are we replaying that same story?
Because you've heard it before, but what about your niece? What about your nephew? What about your child?
It depends on what comes along with the stories that are being told over and over again. Yes, we need to keep the history alive so that it's not lost more than it already is, or repeated. But at the same time, it's about upward mobility and moving forward still. And the progressiveness.
In 40 years, are they going to tell her story?
They better.
Are they going to tell the middle class black woman is doing something? Or are they just going to
tell? Because they showed telling
my great grandma's story.
They're telling the Cosby story.
Well, they do. They're getting better. They are getting better. But we will.
Different World brought you the choir.
If Hidden Figures was told in 1995, would it have done as well as?
Yes. Oh, we didn't talk about Black Panther. Doggone it. Because that leads me to the next point where there was a wonderful documentary on PBS where they said Wakanda is the HBCU campus. And as a graduate of an HBCU, yes, I've seen a black president. I've seen a black queen. I've seen black people just excel and represent all forms of government, all forms of popularity, all forms of struggle, all forms of money and weight size and light skin and dark skin and Greek life. I just felt like Wakanda forever is here. We ain't got to go to a fictional place in Africa, but go ahead, let's go and talk about it because I saw it 3 times already.
Tanya and I have friends who agree with Tanya about not wanting to see this kind of story of struggle. The issue is diversity of story. If there was enough diversity of story, then you wouldn't really feel that way because then there would be more of a diversity where we see different kinds of black stories. But see, this is very systematic. It's very intentional. So this is the thing. We, not only people of color, but everyone really needs to understand our history and have some kind of cultural sensitivity class. I don't care whether it's in high school or whatever. We need a multicultural curriculum that talks to the contributions of everyone because we can't then move on 40 years from now and repeat the same thing as Martin Luther King.
And it shouldn't take a guidance counselor to pull your child aside and give them a history lesson. It should take the whole curriculum. Public school system.
My boyfriend Mike, he grew up in South Carolina, and I was impressed that he said they learned about South Carolina history. Well, you can't do South Carolina history without talking about black people. They had the largest number of slaves. Growing up in Tennessee, I didn't know who Malcolm X was till I went to college.
Wow. And it wasn't brought up in the household.
No, because we're Southern. He was Muslim. He was Southern
Christian. He was a Christian.
It's all about Martin Luther King.
But that brings in
every wall.
That brings in other
But
factors.
that was intentional too.
Yeah.
You see, the Conquer and Divide, that was all intentional. And when we look at that experience that you had growing up in the South, just a little bit, after this Jim Crow era, what happened is segregation gave us your experience.
Yes.
You know, historical black colleges gave us your experience. But the urban experience in Detroit, in New York,
Chicago.
showed us something different, where children don't come out from 5 blocks and they don't and never seen a black doctor, never seen a black person. This was unheard of, you know, in the South.
Yeah.
So it's very important for us to see the full reality of all of who we are and take control of our socialization process. Enough of the old Hollywood, socialization process. We've now got to be in control. So if we have the power and we're in the seat, we have to make sure that those young people are in the seat who have the power to green light know what they're doing.
What do you think Black Panther is going to do for us in the future?
Oh Lord.
What do you think?
We done ran out of time 5 minutes ago. But like I said, that was that point that I made about we design the house. We are the architects. We are the construction workers. We have the hammer. We have the keys. Black Panther definitely is going to build a whole community of houses with a plethora of doors open.
Of different genres when it comes to, will these houses be more dramas? Do you think we'll run out now and start supporting more black dramas? Do you think we'll run out and start
supporting? You think we don't
more?
support them?
I think we do, but I think Mudbound, I bet you I could go out on the street and ask 10 black people how many people saw Mudbound, and
most people don't have Netflix. Most people don't have Netflix.
People
They want to see it, they want to see it, and I agree with you.
This brown table started out with 21 women. Less than half had Netflix. That's why they're not here.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that may be one point. She's trying to say that Mudbound was only on Netflix, so if you didn't have
they
Netflix,
couldn't see
you
the
were out of your
movies.
way to see it.
And it was like,
But if Black Panther
We
had
talked
come
about
out
so
on
many other more movies than it was shown on.
So the point I'm making is
And we
Black
gotta wrap it up.
Panther,
Yes,
Black Panther, and then I'm done.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. We just gotta stop it right there. We cannot go back.
We have to.
I'm gonna
We
see
have
you
to
guys
come back to
tomorrow.
7 p.m. Same channel, same panel. It's the brown table. We break it down, baby, like it's never been broke before. Holla!